Professor Pig gets put on the back burner as we have to deal with promotions and all sorts of villainous alliances in tonight's episode of Batman Begins.
Welcome to the heart of the stories we tell. My name is Rob, and tonight I will be reviewing.
Gotham, Episode 8, Stop Hitting Yourself. Alright, so the whole Grundy Enigma thing is coming to a head, but I think the real secret is the fact that we're finally seeing Gordon's promotion. There's a lot of things that are all wrapped up within each other here, including little tiny moments that relate to other characters and as the characters interplay with each other. So we're going to have to look kind of carefully at tonight's episode. However, before we do, I'd like to remind everyone what I do here. What I do is I take apart stories, try to figure out patterns, and just generally deal with the whys and the hows of storytelling. Because I'm a storyteller too, and I'm trying to figure out how it is that we all go about telling these stories. If that sounds interesting, click that subscribe button. But for now, we're going to continue on with Raish's shadow overshadowing the city. Specifically, the fact that because of him, Bruce is not active right now, even though he had already started the vigilantism. But also, he pretty much tore the city apart. Most of what we see is a remnant of the Court of Owls scheme, which remember was also his. So, to be honest, the after effects of everything that leads to Bruce becoming Batman all trace back to race, just like in Batman Begins. Now, we didn't get much Wayne stuff going on specifically tonight, but with Lucius Fox, you could start to see the building of that. However, the B story, the one that really had connective tissue, was actually kind of a love story. Let's throw this up there and get started.
So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time. Ba-da-na-na.
Sooner or later, it was all going to come falling apart by coming together. The Penguin storyline, the Barbara Keene storyline, the Tabitha storyline, the Solomon Grundy storyline. I'm still not sure what they're doing, whether it's Solomon Grundy or Butch, really. Is this an Easter egg? But everything going on between him and Tabitha was foreshadowed very early in the episode with him starting to remember. But of course, this also plays into Leslie, but the overall story is really Riddler vs. Penguin. Now, in the comic books right now, they're doing a war of jokes and riddles. This feels more like a war of birds and riddles. Now, of course, Professor Pig is still being hunted, is still at large, and is still a threat to both Penguin and Gotham City PD. And that's really the connective tissue of this season so far. Everything somewhat is connected, but at the same time, we also have Penguin making a new friend at the orphanage that was set up by Falcone. Now, that part of the story I don't get at all. I mean, I understand that Penguin even figured out the whole you keep your friends close and your enemies closer, and that you turn friends into enemies by manipulation, and he showcased that with the kid. But realistically, he still doesn't understand what's going with Falcone, because no one does. I don't even think Falcone does. Jim definitely doesn't. Speaking of which, they're obviously using the Professor Pig storyline to promote Jim. And you know what? I really liked having Harvey as police captain, but sooner or later we had to know that Gordon was going to be over him again. So this seems to be the storyline they're going to use to do it. I do kind of think it was an interesting concept, the whole idea of giving the bullet that shot you at the bar, although it does kind of ring too comic booky for me for this show. But what came from it, the heartfelt moment between Jim and Bullock, when Bullock was pretty much breaking down, that was pure 100% awesome Gotham drama. And I have to say, I feel sorry for Bullock. He was in over his head from the beginning, and he always knew it. But he was trying to do the best job he could, even if that meant not doing the best job anyone could. I like Bullock in the comics. He was better in the cartoon. But the Gotham Bullock really made me feel like he was a real character and made me love him. It's a testament to the actors of this show. The one that plays Penguin, the one that plays Riddler, the one that plays Bullock, all of them make you feel for these characters, even when they're assholes. Normally, I wait till the end of a season of a show before I do the elements of fiction because they can change on a whim. But I have to say, theme wise, this episode totally follows through on exactly what every episode has been working towards. Who can you trust, and who has your back? Now, yeah, there is a little bit of who is the real Bruce, but since Bruce wasn't in this episode, although next week it looks like he will be. This is all about trust and friendship and family, and who do you turn to and who can you work with, and the idea of the Sirens quitting working for Penguin and changing on a dime, the idea of Selena just wanting to be part of the team, the fact that her and Bruce even have the whole thing going where they're not sure if they can trust each other, and of course, Grundy and Tabitha, and now with our new mob boss. Quite an upgrade for Lee, and on the other hand, quite a dangerous job. I mean, especially with things going on between Penguin and Falcone. And let's not forget next week we still have the whole Bruce making friends with Elliot, and we still have everyone else crazy running around. And like I've said before, Raz's shadow cast across the city, because I still think there's something up with that. I also think that there's going to be enough time for 2 or 3 more major betrayals of friendship. Who do you think can trust who, and who can't? I'm curious to see your response in the comment section. In the meantime, I'm still enjoying the show. This is probably the second best comic book show on the air. And considering last year I didn't even finish watching it and reviewing it, that's a huge step up. But for now, if you're liking what I'm saying and want to hear more, give me a thumbs up and share this video. And of course, if this is your first time here, click that subscribe button and enable alerts. Because what I do here is try to look at the hows and the whys of storytelling and depict what's going on in each individual story. And I'm betting before this is over, Gotham is going to teach us quite a bit about how we tell stories about friendships and enemies. But for now, I hope you have a good night. I'm off to watch the Orville.